Hey besties, this is going to be a very short and sweet one, mainly because I'm sharing my baby with you. If you don't know, I have an ebook guide for healthcare interviews. I have over 50 interview questions and answers. So today, out of the over 50, I'll be sharing 5 with you. I've tried. People have paid for the ebook and it will be unfair to just start dishing you all that information for free. No way. But with these 5, we'll still do our usual method where I'll tell you the question, tell you the rationale of why the prospective interviewer would be asking you that question, and give you my answer right from the ebook. Question 1. Can you discuss a time when you had to multitask or prioritize competing demands in your work? Now, this question is very important in the healthcare industry because you are literally going to do a lot of prioritization, and this is independent of whether you are a care worker, support worker. Like, it just does not matter. There is so much work to be done because it's a fast-paced setting. So they want to know if you understand how fast-paced the healthcare setting is and how you are going to handle it. Now, in this ebook, I gave summary answers, but there are more extensive answers. So I would read out the answer in the ebook and even explain further. Multitasking and prioritization are essential skills in healthcare. I recall a situation where I had to juggle multiple patient care responsibilities, administrative tasks, and urgent requests simultaneously. To manage this, I assessed the urgency and importance of each task, organize them based on priority, and utilize time management techniques such as setting deadlines and breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps. By staying organized and focused, I was able to address competing demands effectively while maintaining quality patient care. Now, you can answer like this or in various other ways. The reason I answer like this is to first draw on my experience, because one thing about these interviews is even if you don't have a lot of experience, you don't have to act like you don't have a lot of experience. Whatever experience you have, you can squeeze it and use it in various situations. So this is me telling them that when I'm faced with a lot of competing demands, I look at it in terms of priority, in terms of urgency, and I check, is there anyone at risk of harm? Is there any safeguarding concern? Ultimately, if there's a safeguarding concern, for instance, that would be top priority over every other thing. Now, you can even answer that to use this Eisenhower model of prioritization, and what this means is you categorizing tasks based on urgent and important, not urgent but important, urgent but not important, neither urgent nor important. And this model of prioritization is very useful because it helps you meet deadlines. Another thing you can say is you color code your task. Color coding is literally you categorizing tasks. Now, if you have used a calendar before, like Outlook, you would know that you can literally categorize tasks. So a lot of people categorize tasks that are urgent, they put it in red, then they put some tasks in yellow and green, depending on how important it is at that moment. So that's something you can say. You can also say you ensure that you are aware of time frames, because some tasks would have deadlines and you can't keep up with deadlines if you don't even know what these time frames are, and that will guide you in prioritizing. See, in your interviews, you can say as much or as little as you can remember. The main reason I'm telling you a lot is when you get into that interview setting, you would at least remember one thing. There is no way with all I've said and what I've read, you will remember one. No, now you remember something. So that's it. Second question: how do you handle situations where patients or family members express anger or frustration? Now, the reason they ask this question is that in the healthcare setting, you would definitely have situations where a family member or a parent is being angry and they want to test if you would react to it in an aggressive manner or if you would respond to the situation in a professional manner. So this would be my answer. When patients or family members express anger or frustration, I respond with empathy, patience, and professionalism. I acknowledge their emotions, validate their concerns, and actively listen to understand the underlying issues. I remain calm and composed, avoiding defensiveness or escalation of conflict. I offer reassurance, apologize for any perceived shortcomings, and work collaboratively to address their concerns and find solutions. By demonstrating understanding and a willingness to help, I aim to de-escalate tension and restore trust and confidence in the care provided. I feel this is just perfect. Like, I don't even have anything to add or subtract because it addresses the issue and also gives you qualities. Like, you are literally telling them you are an empath, you are patient, you are professional. So without doing too much, you are already giving them what you need to give them, which are important qualities and skills you need as a healthcare worker. I have a video where I talked about skills and qualities that you need as a healthcare worker. I'm going to link that up so you can know the kind of things you are expected to say. Number 3, how do you ensure effective communication with patients from diverse backgrounds or with varying levels of health literacy? Now, this question is very important because first it addresses the quality and diversity part, asking you if you know what that entails, because everyone is not like you and you should not expect to treat your clients or their family members as though they are not unique. So when you are faced with clients or family members that are different from you, how are you going to react? How would you communicate with them? Also, when you are faced with people that are not as literate in terms of health matters, remember the question is health literacy, because someone can be intelligent but have no knowledge about caring for someone, and you are the professional in that instance, so they are relying on your wealth of knowledge and experience. So this is what I'm gonna say. Effective communication with diverse patients requires cultural competence, empathy, and clarity. I employ techniques such as active listening, using plain language, and employing visual aids or interpreters as needed to enhance understanding. I respect patients' cultural beliefs and preferences, tailor communication to their individual needs, and encourage questions and feedback. By fostering open dialogue and mutual respect, I strive to overcome communication barriers and ensure that all patients receive equitable, patient-centered care. So that properly addresses the point. It tells them that you don't just treat people as though they are all the same, because we are not all the same. Like, we should all be treated with respect and our uniqueness understood. And there may be times when you may need to use the services of an interpreter. There may be times when you may need to use visual aids or other forms of aids, and you should be quick on your feet to do that. And not just act like, okay, well, you don't even understand, so I do not care to make you understand, because that's not right at all. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, my loves, please give me a thumbs up. Let's continue. How do you handle situations when you disagree with a superior's decision or direction? Now, this question is to check if, first of all, you're professional and how you are able to be accountable or not to a superior. So this is going to be my answer. When I disagree with a superior's decision or direction, I approach the situation with respect, professionalism, and open communication. I express my concerns or alternative perspectives in a constructive manner, providing rationale and supporting evidence as needed. I seek clarification and engage in dialogue to understand the reasoning behind the decision, and I'm open to compromise or finding common ground. Ultimately, I respect the authority of my superiors while advocating for what I believe is in the best interest of patients or the organization. So now, if you notice, all the answers I've been giving, I've been using style to put my strengths. Not just you answering questions. In fact, if you want to make these questions more extensive, you can even add examples of your past skills, your past experiences. If you can remember how to answer behavioral interview questions, you will know that you should put stories. So you can even make that more robust. But the main crux of your answer should be that you are more rational, you're more logical than emotional. So even when someone disagrees with you, obviously, the fact that someone disagrees with you and the person is your superior, that does not mean you just not have opinions. You're not a people pleaser. You have opinions, but it's the way you communicate that opinion that's what matters. Doing it in a very constructive manner, ensuring that you are bringing facts, you're bringing evidence, and that's it. Now the final question: what do you consider your greatest professional accomplishment? Now, whatever you are answering, the accomplishment has to relate to the job or the career. On no account, I've said it before, besties, I will say it again. When they ask you questions like this, professional accomplishment or your long-term goals, on no account should you start saying something different, please. Because that question is to gauge if you are thinking long-term. No company wants to waste their resources training you, then you will leave them. Even though you will still leave, because why not? But ensure that your answer is tailored in a very strategic manner. This is my answer. One of my greatest professional accomplishments is you should mention a specific accomplishment. It could be something like achieving a positive patient outcome, leading a successful quality improvement project, receiving recognition or awards, etc. For example, I'm particularly proud of, you provide details of the accomplishment, you include the impact it had on patients, colleagues, or the organization. And this accomplishment reflects skills and commitment excellence in healthcare, and it motivates me to continue striving for continuous improvement and positive impact in my career. Now, can you see that this question, like the answer given, is very selfless? It's about something you've done in the job line, and it's also focused on the impact it had on other people, especially patients. Don't just say accomplishments and it's just all about you as though you are bragging. Now, even if the accomplishment is all about you, find a way to tie it down to how other people, especially your clients, benefited from it. So that's something that is very important. Now, these and many more, like when I say many more, I mean many more. Let me read the table of content of this ebook. I talk about the power of the first impression, how important it is to have that first impression and do well at it. I talked about elevator pitch. Do you know what an elevator pitch is? I talked about knowing your CV inside out. I talked about the common interview questions. This is not even part of the 50+ interview questions. This one is common interview question on its own, and I gave my answers. I talked about research essentials, things you need to research on prior to your interview. I talked about quick confidence boosters so that you will not go to your interview and be jittery. I talked about dressing for success. I talked about last minute logistics. Then before finally, I talked about 10 minutes checklists, such that if you have only 10 minutes for your interview in the healthcare industry, this would help you. Then finally, I talked about the 50+ interview questions and answers, of which these 5 I've listed today are part of it. Now, this ebook is very easy if you want to get it. All you need to do is to check the description box. Alongside all my services, you're literally going to get it for a fee. Now, this ebook is not just for people in the UK. Even if you are in the US, you're in Canada, so far you are in the healthcare industry, you are going to benefit from it. So once you make payment, automatically you'll be able to read the ebook immediately. And my loves, please, if you've bought the ebook, I need your reviews. I already have a 5-star review and I really appreciate that, but I want more reviews, please, preferably 5-star. Now, I'm going to be linking up a video that addresses CV, because the only way you can even get to this interview stage is if your CV makes sense. So please go and watch that video if you're struggling with your CV. If you have any questions on anything I've said, please ask in the comment section. But if you have a common interview question you want me to answer, just buy the ebook, because amongst 50+ interview questions and answers, are you telling me your question will not be part of them? Exactly. Alright, my loves, I'm gonna see you in my next one. But until then, stay blessed, remain happy, and